Hello everybody and welcome to another video. This week is my birthday week, so I'm doing a week-long sort of marathon, as it were, of the music that got me into heavy metal, the music that sort of shaped my taste in heavy metal music. Now, like a lot of these videos are like from the very early 90s, like I said in previous videos. Back in the early 90s, there was a show on MTV, back when MTV actually played music. There was a show called Headbangers Ball, which was on every Sunday, and my older brother, he used to record these shows, and every day before we went to school, he had put on these videos, and we'd watch like music videos for like an hour or so before we went to school. And this is where my sort of taste in music was, heavy metal music was formed and sort of moulded. You know, obviously in years before that I'd heard bands like Black Sabbath and, you know, that sort of thing. But it was around about the time I was 11, you know, 1991, where I really sort of formed a love with heavy metal music. And, you know, watching these metal music videos every morning before school is what inspired my taste in music. Now, like I said, these videos come from like early 90s, like 1991, 92 and 93. So like the quality of the videos is quite bad, but we're mostly here for the music. Now, today we're going to look at possibly the first, I don't know if I want to call them a parody band, but it was the first time I realised, or I discovered, that metal music could have a sense of humour. You know, we've looked at things like Megadeth, where, you know, a lot of the music there is politically based. We've looked at bands like Hypocrisy, you know, which had the almost stereotypical, cliched death metal, you know, murder, sacrifice, anti-Christian sort of lyrics. But today we're going to be looking at a band called Tankard. Now they're a German band, and pretty much everything they sing about is about beer. And this is what I consider this sort of like a precursor to bands like Ailstorm and things like that, you know, those sort of silly, well, not silly, those sort of Viking metal bands that, you know, have not so serious songs. This is, I consider this the sort of precursor to those sorts of bands. And as far as I know, Tankard are still actually going, and I've always found them quite amusing because the songs are quite silly, and it's amazing how many different songs you can write about beer and being drunk. So, you know, today we're going to look at a song called Space Beer, which I think is possibly their most famous piece of music ever created. You know, it's a silly video, it's a silly song, but, you know, like I said, this is the first time I realised that heavy metal music could have a sense of humour. And, you know, we've covered a few songs on this channel that are kind of silly. So yeah, you know, a little bit of fun for today's video. So we're going to just jump into this. Like I say, old video, so the quality of the video is going to be quite low, but again, we're just here mainly for the music. So let's jump into this. So this is Space Beer by Tankard. Let's have a look.
Want to drink it day and night. Smile down, now he puts and he acts. Makes you feel like really good times. If it's sad to be the doctor, cause he has wonderful news. In case of fear, will replace the pills. And take a feeling, heals your ills. In the idea, great innovation. booze makes you hot and wise. The chicken brain with both sides. In the bar will make your hair grow. If you're not chicken for fun, you live on one small more of it. Keep the stomach strong and fit. We love it. A pyromaniac utopia. We want it. Oktoberfest cornucopia. Shake it down, tap another barrel. That explosion of space. Shake it down, it's a drinker's heaven. Live it up and drink this beer. Space beer. Space beer. Space beer is what I like. Space beer tastes alright. Number one, galaxy-wide. The aliens from all over space will come to get a taste. In your idea, great innovation. Future beer, it's a sensation. Shake it down, tap another barrel. Explosion of space. Shake it down, it's a drinker's heaven. Live it up and drink this beer. Space beer. Space beer! Space beer is what I like! Space beer tastes alright! Space beer! Space beer! Space beer is what I like! Space beer tastes alright! Yeah!
Oh, I absolutely loved that song. You know, when I first ever heard that track on Headbangers Ball, you know, it was just so funny and so strange. You know, I never thought heavy metal music could be like this. You know, I never thought for a moment, you know, this is back when I was like 11 or 12, you know, I never thought there could be something so silly, but so brilliant at the same time, you know. And, you know, obviously it's not a very serious song. Obviously, you know, the lyrics themselves don't have any sort of amazing deep meaning, but we're going to talk about them anyway. So the lyrics go: read it in the morning paper. They're shooting up another satellite. Experiment on the final frontier to create the ultimate beer. Precious yeast spinning in orbit. Unrestrained gravity fades. Nobody knows what this brew will be, a magic potion or chemistry. Everybody loves the new beer, so good you want to drink it day and night. It's better than any pills or any X. Makes you feel like really good sex. If you're sick, don't fear the doctor, 'cause he has wonderful news. A case of beer will replace the pills. A drink of healing cures your ills. A new idea, great innovation. Future beer, it's a sensation. Chuck it down, tap another barrel, magic potion out of space. Chuck it down, it's a drinker's heaven, live it up and drink this beer. Space beer. Space beer. Space beer, this is what I like. Space beer, it tastes alright. You know, this is just, it's absolute ridiculousness, you know, it's just so silly. But, you know, the performance itself, the actual song itself is so good and it's so catchy as well. You know, they've got amazing, like, double bass pedal going on in the drums, you know, the guitar sounds really, really good. You know, I love this song, it's just so silly, but it's so much fun. If you stick to drinking space beer, hangover headaches will be in the past. The sci-fi booze makes you healthy and wise. Your dick and brain will grow in size. If you're bald, it'll make your hair grow. If you're not, drink it for fun. Your liver wants more and more of it. It keeps your stomach strong and fit. We love it. Beer Maniac Utopia. We love it. Oktoberfest Cornucopia. Chuck it down, tap another barrel, a magic potion out of space. Chuck it down, it's a drinker's heaven. Live it up and drink this beer. Space beer. Space beer. Space beer, this is what I like. Space beer, it tastes alright. Future beer is so fantastic, there is no end to what this stuff can do. It multiplied, it's no trick of the light. Empty bottles fill overnight. It's the best, nothing can match it. Number 1, galaxy-wide. The aliens from all over space will come to Earth to get a taste. A great idea, great innovation. Future beer, it's a sensation. Chuck it down, tap another barrel, magic potion out of space. Chuck it down, it's a drinker's heaven. Live it up and drink this beer. Space beer. Space beer. Space beer, this is what I like. Space beer, it tastes alright. Space beer. Space beer. Space beer, this is what I like. Space beer, it tastes alright. So there you go, you know, it's a completely ridiculous song. It's utterly silly. You know, they obviously had fun making the video for this. You know, they obviously really enjoy what they do. And the fact that they can write so many songs and still be going now, I'm pretty sure they're still going. You know, and they're still writing songs about beer somehow. You know, it's fantastic. You know, like I said, I consider this to be like the precursor to bands like Ailstorm and, you know, all those other bands that do not necessarily parody songs, but, you know, not very serious metal songs. You know, I mean, I've got an album by a band called Satan's Penguins, you know, and would that band have sort of evolved into what it is today without bands like Tankard sort of paving the way in the early days, or in my early days, should I say, of metal, you know? Because I can't think of many, if any, silly metal bands before I heard this, but obviously, you know, metal's been around for a lot longer than I have. But, you know, I consider this the precursor to it, because it's just so ridiculous, it's so stupid, but it's so great at the same time. And, you know, this is one of those bands that sort of informed my taste in heavy metal music. So, you know, a little bit of fun. It's always fun to have, you know, a little bit of silliness in your music. You know, not everything has to have a deep meaning. You know, I say I like it when metal music has a deep meaning to it, but, you know, every now and then it's fun to have a little bit of silliness. But there's not really anything else I can say about that song. So like I said at the beginning of the video, you know, I'm going to be doing a week-long marathon of songs for my birthday week. I'm trying to release 2 videos a day, and hopefully I'll manage that. Like I said, there's the possibility that there might be copyright problems, you know, because these are really old tracks. You know, people have uploaded these tracks like, well, I mean, 1991 to 1993, you know, it's quite a long time ago now. And I don't want to think about how long ago that was. But, yeah, so, you know, I don't know whether copyrights and things like that are going to get in the way, but hopefully there will be 14 videos this week. Like I said, they're all kind of old videos, so the quality is going to be quite bad. But, like I said, it's music really that we're talking about, and, yeah. It's fun to have a look back at these sort of things. For me, anyway. But yeah, I don't know what else to say on that, so I'm going to leave that as it is. If you enjoyed the video, maybe give it a like, maybe even subscribe if you're not already, because it would help me out quite considerably. And yeah, thank you all very, very much for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.